Hey, there we go. All right.
And we're live.
Yep. Standard driving home from Adepticon show. So this was a good one. This was a good Adepticon overall.
Yeah, I'd
Despite
say so.
the fact it was. I want to begin this show by saying it was the best of times. It was the worst of times, right?
Yeah.
So as you might be able to hear in my voice right now, I am dying. I'm almost undying now. I was dying for most of Adepticon.
And I just took a drink of his drink accidentally, so I will probably be dying in a couple days.
Yep. I'm very, very sick. I had a horrible, horrible flu for a couple of days of Adepticon.
And it was amazing to wake up in the middle of the night and to hear him dying.
Yeah. Yeah, when I get hacking fits, it's pretty horrible. So that was fun. That was a fun thing.
Death.
I haven't
Miracle
been,
touched you.
Indeed. I haven't been sick at a convention in 5 years. I've never gotten sick. I've never gotten con crud. I go to 4 or 5 conventions a year, right?
Yep.
Never once. Never once have I gotten sick, either at or as a result of them. And yet. You know who I blame? It's my Tuesday D&D group. Because that's where clearly it takes about 3 days to come down with the cold of the flu. You trace back to when I got sick. Because I wasn't sick the first day. I was fine for day one.
Right.
I was sort of fine day 2. It was really Thursday night, late.
Are we really talking about your sickness?
I feel like this is a really relevant part of my experience. This is like a major defining factor of my experiences of Adepticon 2019.
That's fair.
Like, the fact that I had to go through and judge all these things, and like, I was more involved this year than I ever had been. And, like, I don't feel like I shirked any of my duties. I gave everything 100% and more, but my God, did it almost kill me. But it was good.
It's funny, like, Saturday night, you're like, when I brought my army back, you're getting ready to teach a class at some point soon.
Yeah.
And I walked in the room and you're sleeping, and I'm like, oh, that's probably not good.
Well, I appreciate you not waking me up, but I did set my alarm. Yes, okay. I had an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to.
Yep.
I looked like my eyes were just. I'd gotten such strong dark circles that the corner was starting to turn pink. That's like not great. That's probably negative.
Yeah.
At any rate, yeah, so I'm sick, but I'm getting better now, and it's fine. When I get home, I'll just enter a medicinally induced coma and call it a day.
People want to know, how do we know that this is the real Vince?
That's true. Could be another Vince. Yeah, like we can.
How about you talk about that? Let's start there.
So, sure, that sounds fun. So Thursday, full shout out to Jacob Berry and Anthony Pulcastro, who cosplayed as me, which I loved. They had the green apron.
Yep.
I want to really say how far they went for this. You realize they shaved their heads.
Well,
like into the format that I have my head
right,
shaved.
Anthony has his head normally bald. And so he's been growing out his hair for months. His wife's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's a thing.
Sure. And like they cut their goatee / mustache into this sort of Errol Flynn that I have.
He took a picture. Anthony told me he took a picture of you to the barber and said, make me into this.
Right.
And she's like,
That's the right answer. That's a smart barber right there. That's a sign you've got a good one on your hands, because any normal barber should be like, I don't know, man. Are you sure? I don't think anybody wants to look like that.
It's true.
So yeah, they were, and what I enjoyed was everybody was taking pictures and tweeting it of like, hey, look, I ran into Warhammer Weekly, and it's not me. It was them.
Right.
Which was great. Like, that was truly hilarious, and I loved it. It made me very happy. And then we had a picture with all 3 of us that I've been tweeted out of the failed cloning experiment.
Indeed.
So, I mean, we can, I don't know how you want to break this down. You want to break this down day by day?
Yeah, let's do day by day.
All right, so Wednesday was the reveal show. We already basically did a wrap-up of that.
Yep.
It was amazing. The only negative part...
There was a negative part?
...of the reveal show is that then all weekend I was asked, how excited are you for Slaanesh, huh? And I'm like, I'm pretty excited. How excited do you think I am? I want to wear a shirt. I want to get a shirt that says, I am excited about Slaanesh.
That could probably be arranged.
Sure. So, at any rate, Can you read the comment?
What do you think about the new Slanesh Keeper of Secrets?
You see what I'm talking about?
I do.
It's
I do.
funny. No, that's really funny. I don't mind at all.
We'll talk about it more on Thursday or on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, short answer is I think it's stupid amazing, and I already reserved 3 of them. How about that?
3 is the magic number for those of you wanting to know.
3 is the magic number because I already have 3 ECOS.
Okay.
So
right.
you need to be able to fully 6 that out, even though that's impossible. But remember, you can only summon 2 more.
There you go.
So at any rate, yeah, we'll start with your Thursday. You had a banner Thursday.
I did. You're not wrong. I played in the 1K AOS Vanguard. What we would actually come to find out is the last year of AOS Vanguard, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I played at 1K AOS Vanguard. I ran Calibron. Daughters. I ran Marathi at 1K, and I did very well.
You did. I'll answer a question that just popped up. I'm trying not to read the comments as I'm driving, but I saw that one.
Yep.
Yes, all of the Demon Slanesh stuff will have 40k rules as well. Okay.
Yeah, it launched at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did really well. I ended up doing. I ended up going, taking second.
Yeah.
At the 1K. So here you go.
Tadao, you got the medal.
Oh, not the badge. The medal. Boom. I got the hardware to show for it. So finally took a second overall, podiumed, which was a huge win. Like it was just, it was a joy weekend with that.
Oh yeah, sure.
So that like it took the pressure off of performance, even though like that got quadrupled this weekend.
Sure.
So, but no, it was good. It was good. It was a banner. It was a banner opening day for me.
Yeah. I mean, Thursday was not as impactful for me.
You started to get sick.
I started to get sick. I taught a class. It was very fun, and I started to get sick. Turned in all my entries. Talked to the creature caster guys. Because I was judging Resin Beast this year, and I want to give a shout out to James Wapple and Shoshi and Jason Craze and everybody who helped judge that, and all the people who submitted models to Resin Beast for Creature Caster. It was really great. They had a very nice turnout of those big models. Yeah. It was awesome. There was some really, really cool models in there, so I was thrilled to be able to judge them, and yeah, it's real good stuff. So they're going to continue that in the future, and I would highly recommend people check that out, watch their site. They want to make it bigger and bigger and better, and they're expanding the size of their models they have available. Yep. They had the new 40 mil champions, and they're awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, there's that.
I made it to the vendor hall once.
I'm sure you did. Well, I picked up some sweet stuff on, what was that, Wednesday night? Yeah, that was when I got that old Skaven Assassin from Mordheim.
Oh yeah.
So that was good. Yep. I got Harry the Hammer, still new in box, his like 25th anniversary box. And I got, what was the other thing I picked up? Oh, I found Warlord Spinetail, the actual special character, old Skaven Warlord, it's a real shooter chase. I found him for like $15, which is a really good deal. Anyway, so I bought some stuff.
I saw Witch Face Door. I didn't buy it.
Yeah. It's funny how much I hate metal.
Yep.
And the only thing I actually bought was 3 metal models. So clearly I'm a hypocrite or a liar.
Jonathan, do you want to move on to Friday?
Sure, let's talk about Friday.
So you had asked why is it the end? And it's for the Vanguard at Adepticon, and the answer is because on Friday we had 147 teams in the AOS teams event.
I want everybody to do that math real quick, because that means there were 294 players.
Yep, single largest AOS event in the world.
Huge.
It was huge. Indeed. I had the pleasure of, and I'll explain that more of why then in a minute. I had the pleasure of playing with Rob Symes, the honest war gamer himself. Rob and I had a joyful day of rolling dice and moving dwarves around the table and shooting things. We had a bunch of great matchups.
You went what, 2-1?
We went 2-1. The one game that we missed, it was the Michigan GT guys from Lansing.
Yep.
And we played. We matched up against a Gristlegore 1K with a Beast of Chaos, a Tzeentch Beast of Chaos. So basically, a mini form of like Dan's List from Warhammer TV fame, who has now taken 2 events with it,
he's taken 2 events,
including the UK Masters. And so we teamed up, we matched up against that. And Rob's 12 could die, took 18 enlightened, a Terrorgeist and 2 Terrorgeists, 1 mounted, 1 not, a Gristlegore Terrorgeist and a Royal, on the face with 12 could die, and walked away with 3 of them.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. And we did a lot of damage. As Rob said, we played everything right, and I agree with him. Just the dice turned against us. Just 2 examples of that. Over the game, I think we pumped. I think the numbers, if I recall correctly.
Rob's estimate was 60 to 70 wounds.
Yeah, we pumped 60 to 70 wounds into the Gristlegore General over the course of the game, and it got negated in some way. Not healed up, negated. Including over 20 six-up saves. 6-up Gristlegore death saves.
It's pretty good.
That's really good math for him.
All right, 6 dice skills. That kind of is coming back to bite Rob right there.
Right, it's true.
Gotta have them 6 dice skills.
And the guys played excellently. Like, it's not that they played everything right.
Game.
They played a tight game, did everything right, and the dice just didn't work out in our favor. Is the answer. I threw 8 drill cannons into the Gristlegore General. 4s, and they were reroll hits. So 4s reroll hits. And 2 of them hit. That happened at a very strategic point in the game. So, the dice, the math was not against us. And so, I got screwed pretty hard. Like, by dice, not by people.
But you did get, like, 3rd best sports in that, right?
We did. So, Rob and I podiumed on sports.
Yeah.
And we took 3rd best sports. So, I think out of the 147 teams, I think we were 26 maybe. So,
that should show you just how much charisma Rob has.
Yeah, because it wasn't
he's able to get you onto the best sports chart. That's impressive.
Hey, I was 3rd best sports last year in the Vanguard.
Okay. All right.
But Rob carried us. There's no question about that.
Yeah. It's not famous, by the way, or anything. Nobody votes for that. It's whether or not they enjoy it.
We'll talk about this someday. I briefly had a comment with Rob about it. I know that he had busted the playtester's chops for like advantage that playtesters may or may not bring to the scene. And I told him that we're going to have to talk at some point about personalities and the skew personalities bring to that for sports scores. Because in general, it's a thing, and he acknowledged it's a thing. He just said he didn't want to talk about it.
Fair enough. He's a ball of charisma, so much so that he can even pull you into his fun orbit.
It's true. And so we bounced around and had a lot of fun on Friday. So how was your Friday?
I got sicker, real sick. By the end of Friday, I was super sick. And I had an 8 a.m. class.
Yep.
On Saturday.
Yep.
So wasn't stoked about that. I had to do some initial judging there. I helped out the paint judging with all the AOS events that I could.
Yep.
I wasn't able to do too much with teams because I wasn't able to do too much with Vanguard because my timing worked out.
Yep.
With my classes. With that, and there were awesome people doing a lot more than me. I was happy to pitch in and all. And thank you, Alex, for letting me help out. Hey, Hui. I met your friends, and they said hello from you, and I said hello back. So there you go.
We spent a lot of time with Chuck.
Yeah, and that's probably an aside here. is like
Talk about it.
the real value of Adepticon is hanging out with people. It's amazing how many people I only get to see once, maybe twice a year, and that's the reason I love this convention. And I feel lucky to be part of a couple of very big communities, like everybody in AOS hanging out with, all of our Warhammer people that we only get to see at tournaments or big events.
Yeah.
And that list goes long. Some people we've already mentioned and well beyond, all of whom are stellar people. I'm only hesitant to name people because if I started, I would miss people and I'd feel bad, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's great because I love Adepticon because I get to hang out with all the hobby people I only get to see basically at Adepticon, maybe in one other place. So just artists that I really like and hang out with and go to dinner with and relax.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Hobby.
And one of the amazing things about it is like I can just kind of wander the halls, like after I dropped off my stuff, like, I wonder who's around, and then like bump into like Mitzi and Jimbo and sit down with them and have a meal or a drink or whatever.
Sure.
So it was great. I realized that I didn't finish the story of why no more Vanguard. I said 147 teams. Alex revealed at the end of the teams event that he kind of framed it by saying that the people have always said you should run the event that you want to play in. And he said he's never done that before, and he's going to finally do that next year. And so what we're going to do is a 2-day, Adepticon is going to have a 2-day 4-man teams event, a true teams event rather than like just a doubles event. And it'll be like four-person teams that will swap the double your partners throughout the event. And then 40K always has these like ginormous displays for like the top displays that they then show in the like Armies on Parade type of thing that they do on Saturday night. And so what the vision for it is, I've heard, is to do something like have both at the same time, where you can like walk down the hall and on one side there's 40K and on the other side there's AOS. So I think that's the vision for it, and it looks just fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's exciting.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk Vince into taking 2 days off of teaching to play with us.
Not gonna happen. There's just too much other stuff that I probably have to do. But I appreciate it. I would love to. It's just not the type of convention where I get any time to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, Friday was good. Saturday. How about Saturday? Saturday the GT begins.
Yeah. So I want to tell my story.
I got to get my electrolytes up here. Go ahead.
Story for game one. You really got a laugh out of this. Rolled up on somebody who's familiar with the show, doesn't get to do a lot of gaming, and so we were talking, and I said, do you want me to help you out and help kind of do some coaching? And I said, I want you to play the best that you can. And he said, yeah, absolutely. And so he had a Nurgle's list, White Cyst. I looked at it, everything I was familiar with. Guo, 40 block plague or 30 block plague bearers. He had a corruptor in there. I thought I was curious, but whatever. Just kind of left it. I was running my daughter's list that I've been working on for a long time. I got reps in with Marathi on Thursday, so I was feeling good. I ripped her quick in that game because I didn't want her to take mortal wounds in small form.
From Nurgle Splash.
Yeah. So I moved her out on one of the points. I think we were playing Border War. And I was like, she'll be fine out there. I'll tag it and then maybe move something out later or whatever if I need to guard it. And so he lined up on me with the Corruptor, moved the Corruptor out to Marathi. He didn't get in. Like, he moved up, dropped a tree. So he did a normal move, dropped a tree, and then tried to charge and failed to charge by 2 inches. I said, that's fine. If you want, you should have probably ran, and since you have run and charge now, why don't you do that now? And so, hit him rolling that dice, let him get in on the Corruptor, and that was great. And then as soon as he was base to base, he goes, you did see that I have Nurgle's Nail, that artifact on the Corruptor, right?
Oh yeah, folks, that's where this is going.
And for those of you that don't know, Nurgle's Nail is an artifact. It's a weapon. When the bearer strikes an enemy, if that enemy does not die after they've taken a wound, you roll 2 dice. If you roll Nurgle's number, a natural 7, the model is slain.
Yeah, boy.
And I thought, and he's like, since you probably didn't see it, I'm willing to move back. I'm willing to move back and not get the extra movement. And I went, nah. It was my bad. I missed it when I looked at the sheet. It's fine. Come on in, take your swings. And 1 wound got through. And he dropped to 7.
Rolled that 7, baby.
So at the bottom of 1.
You dead, Marathi.
At the bottom of 1, I found myself with 1,500 points on the table.
1,500 points of dollars worth 2,000 points of Nurgle.
Yep. I won into round 4 or turn 4.
No, yeah.
So, yep. But it was. It was
still that dude gets the moral victory over you.
No, totally. And I knew that it that's a good day for him. I didn't want to take that away. Like if he got it, like if he rolled a 7,
that's a moment.
Yes, that's a moment that can't be recreated, and I didn't want to take that from him.
No,
so I was like, I can probably do okay. So that's how my tournament started, with me letting somebody remove my Marathi at the bottom of 1.
Sure.
So I definitely made a mistake, but was able to compensate. And I've heard somebody say this before, and I totally agree with it. Like, strong armies don't just win on pure luck.
Right.
And when the user makes mistakes, and everybody does make mistakes, when the user makes mistakes, strong armies will compensate for that.
Sure.
It'll help pick up some of the slack. And I made a big mistake that time. Sure. In any other army, or most other armies, there are a lot of other top tier things. In most other armies, that type of mistake would have cost me the game. It didn't though, and I got lucky.
Sure.
The second game was against Jimbo. Got to play his Sylvaneth. That was a joy. Jimbo wasn't necessarily running what we would call an optimized list. Alariel, a Tree Lord Ancient, Durthu, and a bunch of stuff in a 1-drop.
Yeah.
And he set up and went first and got some trees out, and then Marathi ripped. She was well rested from the first game, so she got buffed up and killed, fully buffed up. Went into the Ancient. Since Durthu was nearby, he had to intercept shots. He intercepted 4 shots and instant killed Durthu, and then the rest of them killed the Ancient. So that happened at the top of 1. And then Alariel ran away at the bottom of 1. Then Alariel ran away at the top of 2, and then Marathi tracked her down and killed her. So basically, that whole game was played by Marathi, buffed up.
Sure.
And the rest of I don't think my witches, 1 witch block never attacked anything, sat on a point, and the other witch block sat on a point and attacked a couple dryads.
Sure.
My highlight of that game was a tertiary objective was you had to eliminate, you had to kill the last model in a unit in both, I didn't know this, you have to kill the last model in a unit in both the melee, in the shooting phase, and in the combat phase. Okay. And so I had the unique challenge in Daughters of having to kill a unit out in the shooting phase.
Sure. Well, either the spit from the cauldron or the gaze from Marathi.
Marathi, that was my 2 options. So I could throw a 6 at a hero, a 5 wound hero,
sure,
or I could spit onto something. In turn 4, I got the cauldron within range of a dryad, or not the branch witch, landed 6 wounds, or 5 wounds, sorry, 5 of the 6, landed them, and then he saved 1 of them. So she was at 4 wounds, and I was like, oh, that was my point. I was so looking forward to it.
Sure.
And then I doubled him and spit on him again. So that happened. Yeah, so that went well. Jimbo was great. I'd play him any day of the week. It was just a fantastic game. The end of the day ended with me matching with Caleb Walters, my Acon nemesis.
The 3rd year in a row.
3rd year in a row. For those of you that don't remember, 2 years ago, I came up against Caleb on table 2 in Adepticon. And with my Nurgle list, I ended up losing to Caleb, and he went and took best overall.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. Last year, that was game 5. Last year in game 5, I matched with Caleb on table 6 or 7 in the final round, and ended up winning the game for a 7th place finish.
Yeah.
Now I matched with Caleb in round 3 on table 4. And it was...
There's like 200 people at this tournament, but you keep finding
Caleb. Just
only
Caleb.
Yeah.
And so that was delightful. I always enjoy my games with Caleb, and so it's a ironic grudge that just seems to always happen.
Yeah, don't ever grudge each other. That's a waste.
Yeah, it's a waste. We will find each other. And he was playing some variant of the same list he's been doing. Just all the Skyfires were converted and enlightened. But that didn't end well. Daughters are really punchy, and Marathi got up in it.
Sure.
So yeah, it was fun. Caleb was a great sport, but it was he tried his darndest with all the summoning and tricks, but I ended the day basically down 1 point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Saturday for me was peak death.
Yeah. Oh man, it was so bad.
It was pretty rough. But so I had a long class in the morning.
Yep.
4 hours I taught until midnight.
Yep.
Did a lot of judging in the middle of the day for both Creature Caster and for the AOS event.
Yep.
And tried my best not to die.
Yep.
And took a nap. That was really the highlight of my day, an hour-long nap. That was a pretty great hour. This is the kind of convention I had, folks. As I said, it was somewhat determinative of my experience.
Right.
But anyway, I also got 4 of my 5 submissions, basically,
Yep.
into the finals, into the first cut at Crystal Rush on Saturday.
Which is a huge win.
Which is
It was a
huge
tight
win.
field this year.
It's ridiculous this year. Like, the large vehicle monster category had like 15 items that made the first cut.
Wow.
Now, that was a super packed field. I was probably like, I don't know how many were in there total, 60 maybe? 70?
Wow.
So, I mean, that's still cutting
Yeah.
heck a lot of the field out, right?
But still, a quarter of it was there for top 4.
And all of it deserved to be
Top
there. Like, none of
Yeah.
it was something where I was like, well, how did that get there?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just, there was such an unbelievable level of quality work here this year.
Yeah.
From across the board from so many artists. And, you know, the only unfortunate part about that is that means it's still a top 3
Yep.
competition, right? So, like, only 3 people, and they've cut it down to, like, basically sort of 5
Yep. Yep.
categories or whatever.
Yep.
I'm not counting, like, the Song of Fire and Ice or the young stuff.
Sure.
Like, the Song of Fire and Ice is very specific. If you do that, you know what you're doing. You're
Yep.
going to read that stuff. It's very tight, focused category. And the youngins category, obviously, it's not.
Which was awesome.
That
Yep.
doesn't cross over, right?
Yep. Yep.
So, I mean, what that means is that, like, 5, 6 categories, whatever you want to say, it becomes pretty tight to funnel all that stuff together.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you look at single figure, when you look at like the vehicle monster large,
Yep.
it's just crazy. Or bust was insane.
Yeah.
I was thrilled to make the cut on bust, but like, I looked at that and went, like, if I won, great, I'd be thrilled, but like, if I didn't, okay, because there's gonna be 10 other people who you know what I mean, I also
Yeah.
think did
You can't in good
incredible work.
conscience say that.
Yeah, that, like, I had fair shot over them, right?
Yeah,
Like, their
yeah.
shit was amazing too. I mean, the level of artistry this year was just
Yeah.
outrageous.
Yep.
Everybody brought such game,
Yeah.
and so it was just inevitable that, like, I mean, you celebrate who won and you commiserate with who
Yeah.
lost and so on and so forth.
Totally.
But yeah, so I was happy to get 4 across. That was really great. And that was my Saturday. And then as soon as I finished my class, I went and took a photo with you
Yeah.
in a stupor because I had already taken my NyQuil and Benadryl at that point.
Yeah. It was so amazing.
I was like barely still conscious.
Yep.
I felt like, you know, like when you see like a boss blinking because they're about to die
Yes.
in a video game.
Yes.
That's what I felt like at that moment.
I unfortunately stayed up till like 1,
I have no idea when you were up till. I was asleep.
hanging out with like a lot of the local AOS community folks, and then
Sure.
also some of the international folks, which was a delight, as well as some of the Warhammer TV folks. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
Quick shout out to Anthony Magro, who was over
Yeah.
from Australia, who was
Yep.
awesome. Dude is my hero. You can't see it from the video, but he's built like a truck.
He's
got some guns on him. And Doom and Darkness, if you're listening at some point, he has a shirt for you. Don't let him snake out giving that to you. So there you go. But at any rate, Anthony was such a cool guy.
It's true.
And I want to get to Australia and go visit him too. So it was awesome to see him.
Yeah.
And obviously everybody's over from the UK again. I love that this event is something where the UK people have started to come over.
Yeah.
And so I want to see more of that cross borders action.
Yep.
Maybe we can all pitch in and like, as a community, we'll charter a jet that just has the job of like fishing people from around the world and bringing them in.
Oh, that'd be neat.
I mean, it's only $125,000 for a 25-hour buy-in. Seems fine.
Seems fine. There has to be somebody that is independently wealthy in the scene, right?
Yeah. Super independently wealthy.
Super independently wealthy. It's a thing. Somebody has to have a jet with all the,
Yes, if you're
the excess capital.
You're an ALS player with a Gulfstream 4. Reach out to us. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do some organization for you.
Yeah.
Or some organizing.
But so then I went to sleep for a long time in a medically induced coma.
Yep.
Sunday morning, your game 4, big game.
So it was. So I got up this morning and I wanted to dress for success. Slapped on the shirt that Doom and Darkness had sent me.
Yes.
So thanks, Doom. And I headed down. I was petrified because I thought I was going to match against Tom McClure. It was knife to the heart was the scenario. Tom McClure, for those of you who don't know, he's a great guy from the Midwest.
Super good dude.
Super good dude. Super cool.
Like truly one of the nicest people ever.
Yeah, truly. Like we always give him
crap for being too nice.
Yes, and then also like painting his models like literally the night before.
The night before Holy.
You remember
events,
he's always
every year he did it this year too. He was painting terrain again. He was painting his big mushroom thing, or his big moon thing rather.
Yeah, we like he was painting the Nurgle trees the one time and all that just right before the event, and so it's always fun. But he's always at all the Holy events. We've seen him a bunch. I've never gotten to play Tom, but Tom was like the dark horse at the event.
Yeah, man.
There were a lot of dark horses apparently, but Tom's was one of them. Tom ran 150 ghouls in a royal court list. So remember I was talking about how
was in like the more what's it called? Morgons?
No, not Morgon.
Okay.
The one that was like regen ghouls. The one that I said that like
right.
the ghoul heavy list.
Yeah,
remember we talked about that?
Yep.
As one that I thought that had gas in the engine.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it does have gas in the engine.
Sure.
And he was like 1 or 2 tables behind me after game 3. And we were playing Knife to the Heart, and I could just see in my mind, like, him having like 150 ghouls. And then, by the way, for those of you who don't know, he was running Ghoul Patrol, and then every time a block dies, you spend a command point, and on a 4-up, it comes back at full strength.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he was running. And they can do deep strike all off the tables, and, it was crazy.
That's some 28 days later type of
It
stuff
was,
right there,
right, like, or World War Z. Like, I was prepared to, like...
They're gonna start...
Yep.
Yeah, throwing
Yep.
up walls and
Walls, and so I was like, I'm gonna have to, like, hold the line on this side and hold the line on this side with, like, my 2 blocks and carve a path through the middle on my daughters. And I was not real excited about that, because it was Knife to the Heart, so there's only 2 points, and it's like however many bodies you can get around it in turn 3.
Yeah.
And so I was not excited about that.
One of my favorite scenarios, Knife to the Heart.
Yeah, and so it was a good game 4. But not soon after I got there, I got the loudspeaker request for Bill Souza and Tom Lyons to report to the desk.
Yeah, dude, you were on the stream.
Yep, and so we got invited to play on the Warhammer TV stream. It was a great honor, and it was a joy both to play Bill and to play on the stream.
Yeah.
Bill,
well, especially because Bill is one of the best players in the U.S. I don't think that's up for much contention.
No, I mean, Bill won LVO in January.
Yeah.
Bill is captain of the Team USA.
Yep.
Bill took out the Michigan GT.
Yep.
I mean, Bill has hardware, a shelf of hardware.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And so I had the joy of playing his FEC. He wasn't playing Gristlegore, so kudos, good on him.
Sure.
He was playing a Dark Acolyte feast day list. You know we were talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. He had a ghoul patrol and a bunch of and then like 2 ghoul patrol, Arc Regent, 3 Terrorgeists. 1 was unmounted, 2 were mounted, and they were terrifying.
Sure. And it was a tough game, but you managed to get the minor win.
I did.
Yeah.
So it was we played till the end of turn 4. So and I was able to squeak out the minor win. I got one of my secondaries and both tertiaries.
Yeah, it's funny when I woke up and was trying to get stuff together.
Yeah.
I scrolled through my phone and I saw the link of you playing on Twitch. I saw somebody had shared it, and the screenshot was turned into turn 2 and it was 0-0.
Yeah.
0-0-0-0.
Yeah.
And I was like, God. That's all I need. He better win this.
Yeah. Yep.
Got to defend the family name, Tom, but you did good. You did good, son.
I did, and I was able to squeak out the minor victory. I would play Bill any day of the week.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean it was a great game, very technical. I think I can't wait to watch the stream and read the comments and hear the commentators. But I suspect there's a lot of it was very kind of cagey and tactical and maneuvering, and
Sure.
we he didn't come right in and invited me in, and I didn't, and so there's a lot of go, rolling, buffing, go, and handing the turn back and forth to one another, as neither of us, both of us were trying to kind of jockey for position and break the other's lines and stuff like that. So it was good. So it was a great game, and it was it was the highlight of my my trip.
Yeah. Talk about your game 5 so I can blow my nose and stuff.
Yeah, so game 5 I landed on, because I was a minor win, I landed on table 2 with Adam Trunzo. Adam took second at Adepticon last year with Seraphon. The last time Adam played, he played me. It was one of the Holy Wars events.
He won Holy Wars.
No.
He also won Holy Wars.
Oh, did you only won Holy Wars? Okay, I didn't realize that. A couple years ago, Adam and last time we had played, him and I matched, Adam and I matched up, and we played, it was back when I was playing Nurgle, and I was able to get that game, but he was a great player then, and he's still a great player, and we played Relocation Orb, and I made some movement mistakes early on, and it cost me dearly.
Yep.
And then the ball didn't always go where I needed it to.
Sure.
Followed by luckily Adam made a mistake, and he would acknowledge that, and it almost cost him the game. So I was able to bounce back from that, and we ended at the end of turn 4 going into 5. We ran out of time, and I was down 1 point going into the final round, and he had a Vermin Lord, and I had 6 sisters left. He had a Bell and one was Engineer and maybe a couple of Giselles, but they weren't in the midst of everything.
Sure. So
they weren't in claiming positions. So it was quite humorous, but we had basically wiped almost the entire table.
Yeah.
So it was a very difficult final plan. I lost by 1 point. I was able to get both my secondaries, but I didn't get any of the tertiaries. So it ended up putting me in 15th. I did the math. Had I won that game, had I been able to pull it out, it would have put me in 1st. So I could have taken overall again this year.
Sure.
But it just, Vincent, we were talking about this, that it's a dice game.
Sure.
And being good and having a good list will get you in the top 10% reliably. But
it takes luck to get to the top 3.
Yeah, it's luck.
Like
it's
that
dice.
The point is, skill has carried you to the top 10%. That's pretty consistent. When you expand and look at the top 10% of tournaments, it tends to be the same group of players, roughly.
Right.
Not 100%.
Right.
Pareto principle type of stuff.
Right. Everybody has an off day.
Everybody has an off day. Right. So then you got the top 10% of whatever's going on, but then the cut to the top 3 is so much luck dependent, right?
Right.
And you have to be playing. Not only do you have to be playing your best game,
right, and have the best list that you can put together.
Right. All that's true. It's certainly still dependent on you.
Right.
But also, like, you need a scenario to at minimum not break against you. You need the enemy to not be your worst matchup. You need the dice to at least perform average, right?
Yep.
And all those sorts of things. Like, if those things go off the rails, you're still in the top 10%, but you didn't make it to the top 3.
Right.
You tend to see similar people in the top 3 because they hit enough top 10%. But then on numbers,
on the math,
they deliver the consistency and they
Right.
get in the top 3. They get, quote unquote, not unlucky.
Right.
Is what I would say.
Right. Yeah, and the reality is, Adam was just a bad matchup for me, and in Relocation Orb particularly. I mean, I was in Relocation Orb, and he was running a heavy ranged list with Rat Trap.
Sure.
So, like, the Warp Seer for the half move and all that, and then the Warp Vortexes for no run and no fly, and just, it was brutal. It hurt.
You done been rat trapped.
Yeah, I was rat trapped on a scenario that demands mobility.
Right.
The funny thing is that it would look like I was done, and then I would buff up and charge with like 6 witches and blow up 3 units.
Yeah, sure.
So, like, anything I touched would just, like, evaporate and mist.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was just mutual destruction. Each time each of us went, units just got picked up off the table.
Yeah, he and I were talking, and he was talking about his 15-pack of Globadiers.
Yeah.
Right, and I really think that, like, 15, 20 Globadiers is crazy good.
Yeah.
Crazy good. You have more Warp Lightning them.
Yep.
Maybe some bigger dust.
You don't need more than 15.
No, I mean, they'll just end stuff. It's
Yep.
crazy how destructive they are.
Yep. You don't need 30, that's for sure. 30 are probably a liability.
It's overkill, and it's too hard to maneuver that.
Right. Like 2 15s are better any day of the week.
100%.
Yeah.
And like when they die, they're not that expensive, but if they go off, they just murder everything. And the fact that they can run and shoot now is what made all the difference. That's what changed him.
Yep, and he used it to his advantage.
Yeah,
like, remember I said I got out of position? I got Marathi into him turn 1 and just bogged everything up. Just got right into his line, threatened, pushed. I had my shield witch block in position to charge. And I didn't. I was like, I don't need to charge them. But they were up enough that when he did his, like, icky shuffle, like, and withdrew and disengaged, it opened up a hole for all the 15 acolytes to come running up, and only 10 of them threw and cut my unit in half.
Yeah, sure.
That my 30 block of witches in half. My shield witches in half. Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. And so it was not optimal.
Sure.
But it was good. It was a great game. I'd love Adam. I'd play him again any day of the week.
So the man doing the Verminous Horde. Proud way to go, bro. Keep killing it.
Yep.
He ended up taking 2nd overall.
Yeah. Adam took 2nd overall, so good on him.
Yeah, Seraphon won the event.
Seraphon won the event.
Go Lizardman.
Other honorable mentions. There was a Corn Dragon list that went 4-1.
Yeah, boy, who was playing like 4-1, only lost in round 5. That's impressive. Not submarining 4-1. That's a different.
No.
Losing the first game and then coming back up 4 is a much different thing than fighting 4 wins and then losing in the last game.
Right. Like grinding through the top armies.
Yeah,
and
so you're fighting the top the whole time.
Because that's where I was
at. He went 4-1 and he lost in the last game, which is crazy.
Yeah, kudos to him. Like I said, much respect. Like I said that to him because he worked hard.
Yeah.
My other honorable mention was in like game 5 on like table like 10, 15 or something was a Ever Chosen list versus
like legit Ever Chosen?
Like legit Ever Chosen.
Like Archeon and
I believe
a bunch
so.
of Erangard.
Like I can go look. It was like Ever Chosen versus something else that's not supposed to be up there.
That's amazing.
Like it was.
I love everything about that. It's fine. Don't
I don't know. Like I can look on my phone, but it was like Ever Chosen and something. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that should not have been up there on top tables.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Proof in the pudding that like people get caught up a lot in like what's too good in AOS. This is too good. This isn't good enough. And there might be a couple things on the outer edges of that.
Yep.
But for the most part,
like Gristle Gore's really good. Like it just is. It's not overpowered. It's not broken.
3-2, and I think the best Gristle Gore. What did the best Gristle Gore let's do this?
Oh, I didn't. I wasn't able to see.
Probably 4-1. At any rate, yeah, it's good. It's beatable. It's good.
Yeah. But that's
like there's so much in competition right now.
Right. Like, the reality is that, like, daughters were on tables 1 and 2 in Game 5.
Sure.
Like, me and Chai were right at the top.
But again, this is not me trying to blow smoke, but Chai is one of the best daughters players around.
He is. Absolutely.
Like, no joke. That dude knows his daughters, right?
Yep.
And, you know, you're a decent player, Tom.
I do okay.
You do all right. Like, my question is, switch that out for 2 other players. Is that still the case? My answer is probably no. At any rate, the point is that it's so much more dependent on you, the player, knowing your army and knowing how to use what you have available, than it is necessarily on the innate power of the list. I'm not saying there's not a couple bad things.
Sure.
There is.
Sure.
But I think for the most part right now, the meta's so broad and wide, you can really be highly competitive with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, some stuff, you might need a couple more lucky small breaks your way than others. But it's still a pretty broad field.
Honorable mention, there's a 240 zombie list at the event.
Nice. That's a lot of zombies.
That's a lot of zombies.
240.
240?
What do they do with their other 1,200 points? I don't know. That's more than that, but
Yeah.
it's a joke. It's the super cheap.
Yep. Buy lots of zombie cards.
Zombie cards, yeah. Sure.
Oh, that's what it was. I know that Fensky went 4-1 with
with his
KO. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Way to go, Nick.
Yeah, Nick had a great run with KO, 4-1. I think he was on table 15. Maybe he was the one that was ever chosen in game. Maybe it was Fensky who was ever chosen versus KO.
That is the grudge match we have waited on.
On table 15, yeah.
That's the grudge match we didn't know we needed right there.
Yeah.
Is KO versus ever chosen.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, but Fensky had a great run as well.
Very good.
So, good job, Nick.
I mean, there was just so much good stuff. And,
there was also 200 people at this event. So, like, when we talk about, like, table 15, that's not table 15 in, like, a 50-person event or a 100-person event.
Sure.
Where, I mean, this is...
You're up and you're vying for a top 10%.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, that was my day today. How about yours?
Well, it got better. I'm feeling a little bit better today. Still like garbage, but I don't feel like I'm dying as much.
Sure.
So that's good.
Sure.
I had to run around like a chicken with my head cut off because you took forever because you were on the stream.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I had things to do.
I forgive you. And so I went and I had to do some demo in the Creature Caster booth.
Yep.
And I then had to go
do paint judging for the AOS. Oh,
yeah, I had to do my best paint judging for AOS. That's
right. My stuff made it into the
final cut.
The final cut.
Yeah.
So that happened too. That was exciting.
Yeah. So I did the final. I wasn't the only paint judge for the event by far.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
In fact, so many people paint judging was amazing this year. That's to say the checklist and things like that.
Yep.
And everybody was awesome, and I'm super proud to be part of that team.
Yep.
They got all this done so fast. We actually got everybody done in between round 1 and 2.
Which was amazing.
Yeah. We really, and like, that's not rushing it.
Right.
Everybody got their due, a perfectly fair estimation. If somebody was at the board, I asked them every time, tell me about the army. Is there anything I should look at more specifically?
Yep.
I sat there, looked at everybody's stuff. I really wanted to make sure I gave every single person their absolute due.
Yeah.
And then, so today, I did the final judging, like the cut of the top 16. And so then I evaluated all of those to then rank them basically 1st through 5th. I had to go all the way down to 5th in case one of the, like, you can't share awards.
Right.
Certain awards.
Yep.
So in case somebody else took a different award, you know.
Yep.
And it was really great stuff. I mean, honestly, it was 16 gorgeous armies. These were hobby on another level, pretty much. Every one of them was, you know, to get cut to that point, you already have to be exceptional as an army.
Yeah.
But in the end, there were 3 that I thought were above the others. But it was very Very close.
Two IDK, two Ideneth.
Yeah, there was 2 Ideneth, yeah.
Yep.
The first and the third went to Ideneth, and the second was Stormcast.
Yep.
So I'm sorry I don't remember the guy's name because I have a lot of medicine running through my head. What's his name? Jaskell?
That sounds about right.
I don't remember. The first place was IDK. He had an army that was breathtaking. It was like, well, it wasn't all IDK. It was really more Sylvaneth.
Yeah.
It was that thing that was like, he had Sylvaneth and some IDK.
Sure.
Okay. Allies or whatever.
Yep.
Isn't there like a...
I don't know.
There's like a battalion for that, right?
I think there is, but I don't think it's. I don't know. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, sure.
I judged it as a holistic army, and
Yeah.
he made it everything fit together.
He told a story.
Yes. So he had a beautiful narrative. His Alarial was gorgeous. Like his centerpiece model was breathtaking, and everything had lots of effort into it. Everything worked really well. He had wonderfully unique artistic choices that were executed very well. So it was great. Absolutely deserved win. At every level, it impressed me. From 10 feet, from 1 foot, from 1 inch.
Yep. So there you go. There's your standard, folks.
Yeah, you have to impress me at every level. Like, you have to, if you want to win Best Painted at an event of this size, I mean, I'll tell you right now, like, just being a good painter isn't enough.
Right.
You got to do more. There's lots of good painters. You got to do more.
Right.
You've got to also tell me a story. You've got to have composition. You got to have things I discover. I've got to get interested at 10 feet. I got to walk up to a foot away and still see quality. And I got to look closer to an inch and discover things. And if you do all of that, as I keep looking and discovering new things, then that's your in contention.
Yep. I did not offer that to Vince.
You did not. You failed the 1 inch test.
And I accept that.
Yeah. That's fine.
I mean, that's a lot of witch bodies. Sorry, man.
I get it, man. I get it. It's all fair. You do you. But it was really good. I was happy to see that. I think the 3 winners were eminently deserved. If anybody who had judging, by the way, if you happen to be watching this, if you had one of the top 10 armies and you're curious, 16, top 10%, whatever.
Yep.
If you had one of those top 16 armies and you want more detail on what I judged and what I saw, how I evaluated you, and how you can take it to the next level, you can leave a comment here. Just tell me what your name is and if it's different than your screen name and your army. I had notes on everything and scores for everything, so I'm happy to give you additional detail.
Yeah. He spent like, 10, 15 minutes berating mine and talking down to it.
That's true. That's true. All stuff that you darn well knew you should have done better. It's fine.
You're right. I mean,
you're friends with me. You get that all the time. You should know when you're failing long before you do it.
No, and I did.
Yeah.
That's why I put in the exact amount of effort I did.
Your army still looked very good.
Thank you.
The other thing that happened today was this. This was very good. This is obviously.
Here it comes.
Hold on, I gotta reach for my pocket. There we
go. Boom! You see that, folks?
Yeah. I finally took bronze and crystal brush.
That's
that was
right.
Great.
Vince,
thank you to everybody who voted.
Finally got one.
Bridesmaid, no more. Every year. You know that 2 years ago, I got 2 years ago, I had 6 in and none win.
Yes.
A year ago, I had 5 in, like make the cut, and none win. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, part of the reason these have shrunk is because they've reduced the number of categories.
Yep.
So like there just hasn't been as many. This year, I had 4 in.
Yep.
But I got the win, so there you go.
Brought it home.
Brought it home.
And what model did you bring it home with?
I won it for my chibi, man, for my chibi tank. Yeah, boy. I love that model.
What model? A chibi.
A chibi, yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
It's a little girl in a tank pointing.
It's awesome. It's a great model. I wanted to do a chibi since last year for this contest. Mark Maxey's a big inspiration to me. He always does amazing stuff with his chibi. And I was really interested in doing a chibi, and I just couldn't find anything I really loved. And then I saw that scale 75 tank model, and I love that. I love those tank commander look, and so I got that one. Christmas and immediately turned about to it. There you go. That was that. So it's a good year. I was very happy. This is, like I said, it's a really tough year. Lots of people who I'm sure deserved recognition did not get an award, and that's just the nature of the thing.
And you know, this is the end.
Well, that's the current idea. Yeah, that's the current rumor. I mean, time will tell. They have made no formal announcement yet, but the idea is that's the last one.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
So there'll be other painting competitions.
There were rumors circulating, but you know, we have to. Time will tell on that. Whatever happens.
Indeed.
But it was a great year, all in all.
We both achieved our goals. I mean, when we were driving down, we talked about what we wanted to do, and I wanted to have one of these. Like this was the goal.
Yeah.
I wanted to have the medallion, at least one, to take home.
Sure. Which you do.
You do. And you've been chasing after that.
4 years now. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So and you know, surprisingly, I ended up on Warhammer TV as well.
It was a good time. I mean, it was really the people that make it. I hate that I was so ill because I didn't get to spend as much time with friends as I want. But I do want to say thank you to everybody who hung out, who went to dinner, who said hi, who stopped by and said thank you. All that's amazing, and I appreciate it every time and very much.
Yep.
I love the community that we have here around the hobby, around AOS, around everything.
Yep.
And so just getting to celebrate so much positivity in the wargaming hobby for like 4 days is a truly wonderful experience, and I'm forever grateful that I get to do it. It's pretty great.
It's always a delight.
Yeah.
So, and it's really the community that makes it. It's a joy every time. I love rolling up on people and rolling some dice, and then finding out that they're fans of the show, and that they know my list.
Hey, that's what you get, man.
I know. It's the cost. It's the cost of doing business.
You want to be the guy who makes all the lists, Tom, or not?
Indeed.
I thought they were all your lists.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
There
So,
you go.
no, it was good. It was good. We had a good trip.
It was very positive. Now, homeward bound. Try to make it home before I collapse.
Where I'm running on like 4 to 5 hours a night the last couple nights. I played 13 games, won 11 of them.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. But I'm tired. Like it's a lot for 40s.
Sure.
So, but I had said I was going to do the Ironman this year.
You did it.
I did.
Way to go.
So,
Way to be. Anything else we want to say?
not that I can think of.
All right. Well, there you go. Very good. And I will say thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to everybody who...
Hold on.
Oh,
What was in your list? I couldn't make out the 2K points out of what you saw on the table.
he'll share his list
I'll
somewhere.
share my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not anything super surprising. It's actually just a tad different from Chai's. I took hogs. He took 30. He took 10 more witches.
There you go.
Yeah. But when you see Chai's, when it gets posted, he's running something almost identical to mine. So. Yep.
Doc stuff. That's what's in there.
Lots of witches and a hat, and it's called Slaughter Cauldron and Marathon.
Yeah, there you go. All right, cool. With that, we'll say thank you very much. Appreciate you watching. Sorry for the low energy. I'll be back to
Yep.
normal soon.
Yep.
And as always, we appreciate you and thank you. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You have to stop that because I'm driving.
Bye.